Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Attack on Titan episode 77, Sneak Attack. So I did get a few things spoiled this episode. I know that Zeke is back in his beast form here, and I saw an image that looked like it was Gabby in, like, you know, when they're like in the Titan and you can see all the flesh around them. It looked like it was Gabby. It could have been Peak. I only got a quick look at it, but it looked like Gabby for me for a second. But I don't imagine Gabby getting a Titan power at this point would happen, so it was probably just Peak. But if it is Gabby, then I had that spoilt for me as well. But I think it is just Peak. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can find full-length timer-based reactions where you can just sync up your own footage if there's anything that you cut out. I'm watching the Funimation version here. And you can also find polls so you can vote for what's next. So yeah, let's just jump into Attack on Titan episode 77. Yeah, she doesn't believe that. She doesn't know what to think anymore if she's just helping because she's an Ackerman. I guess, you know, Levi is also an Ackerman. He doesn't really have that as much, does he? Yeah, so Armin wants to activate it to send out a warning, not to actually, like, go and kill thousands and thousands of people, I think. I mean, he just wants it as a warning to the world to say, you know, keep away. Yeah, they want to keep him alive at least. I am wondering if Eren is going for a Zero Requiem moment. If you know what that's from, you know what I mean. If you don't, it's spoilers for something, but I won't say what it is so I don't spoil you. But it could be a Zero Requiem kind of moment if he's pushing everyone away, pushing everyone to hate him, making himself the villain. Oh wow, they're really wrecking things, aren't they, Marley? Yeah, Rhino just wants an end to everything, an end to all the suffering. What was this call? Oh, was he just like a call out of anger? Like a yell out of anger? Or was he like trying to call someone? Yeah, it looks like he's healing quite slowly. I would have thought that injury would have healed itself by now, but he's using the Warhammer power, so that might be why. Doesn't have as much endurance. I like this. It feels like the violence isn't as glamorized here. It feels much rawer and rougher, kind of showing the mental strain of it all. It's not exactly like a hype violence, is it? It's more tragic. Ooh, right in his jaw. Oh wow, that's... I mean, we've seen Reiner survive worse, but that was still really brutal. Oh, Zeke's here in his Titan form as well, yeah. Did he throw something? Looks like it's 2D as well, it's not CG. Is he just going to be long range up there, chucking stuff down onto the battlefield? Yeah, I think who I saw, who I thought was Gabby for that split second, I think it was actually Eren just there with his long hair. I think the long hair threw me off. Oh yeah, Zeke can take them out. He's probably the only person that can. Like him and Peak, perhaps, but obviously Peak wouldn't have a reason to. Oh, he's aiming straight at Peak as well. Oh, and everyone's coming, yeah, all the Jaegerists supporting Zeke. We've seen how devastating Zeke's rock throwing is, you know. They're not that far from each other, actually. Is that bit below Zeke where Eren had hardened before when he was fighting Ryder and Berthold? Yeah, there's not much they can do as individuals, especially if they don't have ODM gear. The thing is, it's dangerous to get Falco out there in case he hears Zeke's call and gets turned into a Titan. Yeah, they're technically on the same side at the moment. I don't know if Zeke's yell that transforms people, if it's like you need to hear it to be effective, because we saw when he did it in the forest, the people in the town who are ages and ages away, they still felt that. Okay, so they're coming much more into play now. She leaving the scarf behind? I feel like any other time in the show, this would be like a heroic moment, all these hero shots, but here it just feels so much darker and somber, doesn't it? She's just like rejoicing in it and falling. Oh wow, yeah, they're definitely causing some big destruction. The whole Shinjeki is like gone. Oh yeah, Zeke's not gonna let it happen. Oh, that means that Levi's dead. Yeah, that confirms it for them. Yeah. What is that face? Why is she angry? That's like her entire MO as well. Okay, that was so weird how she just switched up like that so quick. Okay, yeah, the technology has developed, especially on the Marley side, hasn't it? Falco's seen them straight away. Is he gonna let him go? Yeah, this is just an act. He's gonna help him out. I think Gabby's seen that there's good people on the Eldian side, you know? She learned that all from Sasha's parents, and it's just reinforced here again. Yeah. She didn't even realize it herself. Is this like her final realization? Gabby's just like defeated. Yeah. This is big coming from her as well, you know? She's been the hardest to convince of this the whole time. It takes a lot to realize you were wrong, especially in the way she's apologizing now. Yeah, and he's saying he went too far into they were all nice because he got used by Eren. Yeah, because he wants to save her. A lot of revelations happening here. Yeah, say it. So it's actually out there if he does actually turn. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's not part of Zeke's big plan. He might see it as a necessary sacrifice. Oh, and he hit Galliard too. Galliard's got a lot of, you know, maneuverability, so he's a harder hit. What killed Peak? She just died off screen? Oh, yeah, it was a bluff. She just got out of the Titan. Yeah, it's all a sneak attack. Oh, I didn't hit him though, just his arm. It was like his nape, but not quite perfect. If he's on the ground, it's easier for Eren to touch him as well. He's falling like the side that Eren is, right? Magath almost got his revenge. It wasn't quite a perfect hit, was it? Well, there's nothing stopping Reiner now. He's not going to turn Falco, is he? Oh. Okay, so that was episode 77. It seems like they're really leaning into the whole Falco potentially getting turned into a Titan. I think what could happen is Zeke leaves off one final roar and that turns Falco. But I have a hard time feeling that Falco is just going to be a bog standard Titan. He's like too important. It'll be really tragic if he is just a regular Titan that will eventually just have to be killed, you know? I guess that could happen because he is like the most pure, the most innocent person left in the show. So just to hammer in how tragic and dark everything is, they turn him into just a bog standard Titan that eventually has to get killed. But I feel like he could also inherit someone's power. You know, if Zeke gives off one final roar, then Falco can come in, you know, transformed as a Titan. It looked like everyone's kind of converging on that same spot. So Falco could jump in there and eat Zeke and gain the Beast Titan ability. I can't really see him gaining anyone else's at this point. And then that, of course, would stop Eren being able to touch Zeke. So I feel like if Zeke lets out a roar, he wouldn't let out a roar until after Eren has touched him to activate, you know, the whole rumbling and activate the founding Titan, the power being accessed by Eren. There's no way that Zeke would roar and put himself at risk like that. I guess he doesn't know that Falco is on his way, but he does know that a lot of people have drunk the wine and have the ability to change. So, but maybe he thinks, you know, roaring will change all his people and, you know, just throw this element of chaos into the mix to make it easier for Eren to get to Zeke. But now that Zeke is on the floor, there's nothing really stopping Reiner and Galliard from trying to stop Eren. You know, Eren's limping along very slowly. It seemed like Galliard got hit pretty bad, but Reiner was standing again, so Reiner could come in and stop them touching. I really loved the moment with Gabby. She's finally kind of come to her senses and had her realization that the Eldian people are just that. They're just people. And that, you know, there are no devils. There's no like right and wrong here. Both sides have people in the right, both sides have people in the wrong. And it seems like Falco, you know, they haven't necessarily flipped ideologies, but Falco has seen a bit of her side as well. He was saying he was kind of too nice to them, and that's what led to all of this happening, because he was able to be manipulated by Eren. So it's like, although the other side, they're not all devils, you still have to keep your guards up in a sense, because you never know what people's motivation would be. I like seeing the 2D Beast Titan back again. You know, Zeke is finally back, but when we first see him, he is 2D. There was definitely some 3D for some of the more movement-based scenes where he was frying the rocks and things, but it definitely seems much more polished this time around. I saw this great video, I'll link it somewhere, where someone had put the textures that they used in the first 3 seasons over the Titans, and it really helps add that kind of sense of unity between the seasons. I think if you watch it, you'll see what I mean, where it looks much more like the style of the previous seasons with some of the CG there. It was like a really quick change that worked really effectively. Of course, I know Mappa is very tight on time here, and that's why not everything looks perfect. But it is interesting to see where you could make changes and how something can be fixed, you know? I have noticed as well in this season, the use of music is much more restricted and held back. Of course, we always hear the same repeating song that was used in the part 1 trailer. I'm not sure of the name of it, but I'll put it up on the screen. But they use that song a lot, and it's just kind of this action song, but there's a lot of other moments in the show where I think they would have had music, or they would have had a much grander moments with the music, like we had those hero shots that I mentioned, and maybe like that moment where Yelena was seeing all of the blimps kind of coming down. I think in previous seasons, in those moments, they would be hyped up a bit more, but I think it fits the tone here better to have those moments be more calm and more somber. And like I said, with the action, a lot of the action here is not kind of glorified. They are showing how violent and gory all of this action actually is. You know, it was always violent and gory. It seems like previously it was kind of for effect and to kind of shock the audience, and it is still shocking seeing it here, but I feel like it's much more grotesque here and much less kind of glorifying any of the violence. You know, we don't have any of these big Sakuga sequences. All of it is very kind of tame and held back. I know some of that, you know, some of the lack of Sakuga is because of the budget and the time constraints, but I think it also works in a narrative and filmmaking kind of point of view with this tone they are trying to create here. Is much more of a tone of desperation than the previous seasons were. Okay, I think that's all I have to say here. My discussion wasn't as long as last episode, but I think I've covered everything I want to talk about. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like or a comment. If you really loved it, be sure to subscribe to keep up to date for all the future episodes. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.